Hello, everyone. I am Dana Rice, the founder of the Global Directory of Black Arts Education. And today I am talking with the amazing Reverend Dr. Gloria J McCall. She is a piano teacher, a director, a playwright, an author, and a workshop clinician. And that's just a little bit of what she does. So, welcome, Dr. Gloria McCall.
Well, thank you, Dana Rice. I am glad to be here to be a guest with you on the Black Arts Education. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, so on blackartseducation.com, we try to provide resources that will be helpful to people who are looking for culturally relevant training in the arts. And this is why I am bringing the best of the best on this show so that we can get connected with you and you can get connected with us. So one thing I did not say about Reverend Dr. Gloria J. McCall yet is that she is part of the illustrious Gospel Music Workshop of America, where she is part of the faculty, and she is the music coordinator for the children's division.
That
So,
is correct. That is very correct. And I have actually been a part of Gospel Music Workshop for over 30 years, which means I was there when Reverend Cleveland was living. And it is an amazing conference, so many different divisions. But myself and several other ladies, we had to begin to be advocates for the children, because here was this huge gospel workshop, promoting that skill of gospel music and that style. And they had our children in a choir, which was about 500 people. But the children, they had that choir from ages 4 to 25. And you know me, my hair, it was a hair-raising experience. I kept saying, no, 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 get those babies down from there. So the last 12 years, we finally we kind of started out as a project with them. They gave us a couple of years to try it to see if it would work. And so we really had to push. We had to push, 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 because there were people who were writing wonderful music, but we had to remind them, write some music for the children. So we had began to have classes. We have a class now called New Music Seminar for Children's Music. And so every year we are getting 40 to 50 writers who are writing music specifically for children's choirs. So that is just, and some of it's, most of it's in that gospel flavor, or, the Black church, or even storytelling songs, solos, things like that. Just amazing, so that our children are not getting left out of that great cultural feeling and that sense of being able to carry on that gospel music tradition.
yes, and as you talk about it, it just gives me memories of the year that I was able to be one of the presenters of new music for your choir. And they did, I was able to come in and teach my song Joy, Joy.
That's right.
And you get your joy, put Jesus first, yourself last, and others in between. And so y'all, everything she's saying about it is that and more. I mean, it was an amazing experience, and they do this every year. So check out GMWA, and if you're a songwriter or you just got kids that love to sing, this lady right here, you'll need to be connected with her.
And it teaches our children so many things. They are coming into a rehearsal on a Monday. Directors that they don't know, children they don't know, children from all over the country. Even because now GMWA has a chapter in Japan and England and I believe Spain and several places. And many times we have children from those places that come in and sing with the children's choir. And for them to come in on a Monday, and for me to kind of be over that, to oversee the correct songs that the children are going to sing, songs that are appropriate, songs that they can learn in 4 days. in 4 rehearsals, things like that, and work with directors from all over the country. And some directors can be, they they just came from God, you know. So you can't so you can sometimes tell them, well, wait a minute, we need to kind of tweak this right here so the children can learn it a little easier. So it has been an amazing experience, a great learning for me also, because, you know, we're never too old to grow and to learn. And so this experience of being the national director for the children's choir has been an honor and a great joy. And to see that group we've lasted now about 12 years. We have grown from having 10 children to having parents that are contacting GMWA saying, you know, what time do the kids meet? You know, what are they wearing? Things like that. So we actually have a place on the website now for GMWA that talks about the children's experience. And so anyone interested, it's just a great experience for your child. They never forget it. They never forget it.
Yes. And so before we get into some more of your things that you're doing as far as teaching and all, I do want to go back a second for people who may not be familiar with Reverend James Cleveland, because you mentioned that you actually worked with him. And so I just kind of, you know, our audience might not go back that far, but they definitely heard his music, you know. So I'm listening to you when you mentioned his name, I'm thinking, yeah, I've had heartaches like this before.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
The star. Yeah, so tell us just a little bit, you know, background. Everybody.
Reverend Cleveland was really a very kind man, gifted and talented. Now, here, Reverend Cleveland, he would just sit and play. Okay, he was just gifted like that. But Reverend Cleveland had an immense respect for written music, the academics of music. And he kept saying, we're not just going to have a gospel music workshop where you all just come and you just sing any kind of note in any way you want to. And he began an academic division. In that academic division, we have at least 80 classes that are presented every year. All of the music that you hear that is recorded by GMWA is written. It is scored, because Reverend Cleveland said, we are not going to be just sloppy and shouting and running around the building. We are going to have quality. We're going to be able to pass this on from generation to generation, not just orally, but also scripted, also written, well scored. So he was just a man of great vision. And it was I had a wonderful opportunity of actually singing with one of his groups called the Messengers. I had the opportunity to sit and eat hot dogs and potato chips. He liked hot dogs and potato chips. Hot dogs and potato chips with the great Reverend Cleveland. He just really was an awesome man. And those of you who don't know anything about him, you can look him up, look it up. And for one of us to start an organization that is now 50 some years old, you know, that's amazing. You know, that's amazing. And every year Gospel Music Workshop meets in a different city so that people all over the country, all over this nation, have an opportunity to come and be exposed to this great cultural event of gospel music. It's an amazing thing.
Yes, it is. And you are amazing beyond that. So I want to get into some specific things about what you do when you're not at GMWA. So
okay.
I think you've already kind of hit on, you know, telling us why music for children is so important, you know, for them to get started really early and to be on a right path. So
yeah.
I believe that's great. Now, the question I would have is, if you were talking to parents of young children who may be interested in getting their kids, you know, involved with music in some way, what do lessons look like? Because you teach piano and you teach voice lessons.
That's correct.
Ages 4 to adults. But thinking about parents of young children, what do lessons look like for young learners?
Oh, we have fun. We have fun. It's more to learning the piano with a child than just coming in and learning. This is put your thumb right here on middle C, and then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there's another C. And so sometimes I have names for the C's, or names for the D's, or we color the one C red and we color the other C we color the other C yellow. So there's different little paper games that we do. I even do games with them. I'll play a note and say, okay, see if you can hear that note come back around, and I'll play three more notes, and then I'll play that note again and say, did you have it? Did you hear that note again? So we're not only getting piano training, but also training with the ear. It's called discriminative listening. Discriminative listening, because your child is learning a art that is in the airwaves. And
Yes.
so even though they are learning to read the notes, very, very important, because believe me, I always tell them, don't leave my studio and tell somebody you learned from Gloria McCall and you can't read these notes. Hello? Read the notes. I said, but I also want you to be able to understand that your notes are creating that sound that we call music. And I need you to hear what you're making. And it helps the child to learn that this is more than just little black dots on a paper. I tell them, take those black dots, transfer them to your fingers. Okay, they go through your mind, through your fingers, and then they leave your fingers and they fly into the air and they create a sound called
Oh,
music
that's wonderful.
that
I love
that
it.
is going to stir people, that's going to change the life of somebody. Somebody ready to jump off the bridge may hear your little da da dee da 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 and say, wait a minute, what is that sound? So sound is so important. So even as they are learning, that's something that I always emphasize: creating music,
Hmm.
taking the black notes and making the music.
Yes, yes, yes. And you are a creator of music, a master at it. One thing in what you just said about the hearing part of learning how to play music, I'm sure parents will be happy to know that that's an added benefit. Your kids can hear better and
Ooh.
listen better at home. Yes. So music gives so many life skills that are translated beyond the actual instrument. So listening, most parents I know wish their kids would listen more. Um, Musicians learn the discipline of listening. So
Yes, 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 yes.
absolutely wonderful. Now, talking about types of music messages that are important for children's development. Can they just sing, everything that's on the radio? Is it okay? Or do we, because I remember you mentioning that the choir was ages 4 to 25 or something.
Oh,
And so, why is that potentially problematic, and why do we need special music for the children?
that's right. That is problematic. A child, a child's cognitive development. The sixth graders are not in with the kindergartners. And if you go to a school and they have the sixth grade class in with the kindergarten class, you immediately, as a parent, are going to say, no, no, I don't want this. Well, that's what we do sometimes with music.
Mm-hmm.
We take something that somebody 30 is doing and say, oh, my child can sing just like so and so. Oh, no, no, the child's vocal cords are not even developed to do that. Their cognitive skills, no, they're going to memorize da da dee da da, and you're going to have that repeated several times. La da dee da da. La da 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 da. You have to have it repeated for adults. You have to have it repeated for adults. You have to have it repeated for children. So there's a certain amount of words that children are going to be able to learn in a song. Um, Someone sent me a song all about God gives me salvation and redemption. Da, da, da. And I thought, No, we can't, and you always give people good, some compliments and try to give them some ideas of how to write better music for children. Now, I'm not saying the song has to be dumbed down so until it's Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. No, but you have to start with children in a place that it's a melody that again lives, that can live within them. You
Mhm.
know, uh, there's a little song that says, uh, "Life without Jesus is like a donut. It's a hole in the middle of your heart." So I can sing a little song like that. I can make a donut like uh, Reverend Minister Rice, Reverend Rice, just said. She did a song called Joy. And we remember that song because we had to do the Joy. And so children like songs that they can participate in. It helps them to remember the song. It helps them to have activity with the song because, children like to move. So all of those things are very important when we are looking at music for children. Piano music, singing music, dance music. Working with children is such a special art. And you have to love children, okay? You have to
Mhm.
love them whether they're standing on their head, whether when you're giving the piano lesson, they got their legs crossed up on the bench, and you say, let's see, I think we have to sit a different way at the piano. So you have to be able to feel comfortable. That's the word. You've got to be able to feel comfortable with children.
Mhm.
Okay, you've got to be able to not fall off your seat when they ask you some question that's, you think, oh my goodness, where'd that come from? It's okay. Children will come up with lots of different things. So you cannot be afraid when you're working with children. Get in there, do it. Just get in there and say, okay, God, I don't know, but he does. And so God is always with us as we work with our children, to bring them into a place of appreciation. God created music. He loves it. He loves them. So let's do it. Let's do it. Those of us who are educators for music, don't back up. The world needs to hear music.
Yes, I agree completely. And everybody, if you go to blackartseducation.com, you will find the contact information for this dynamic woman. She is listed under the virtual piano studio because she is mindful of the times that we're in. So she's available for virtual and in-person lessons. And she is, I think, as she has talked to us today, you've realized that she's not just a teacher. She's not just one thing. She's a teacher of teachers, and she's a teacher of rising stars.
Hallelujah.
And she is a songwriter as well. She has several books that include her songs in them, and you will be able to find links to some of those on blackartseducation.com as well. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you the next time where we will introduce you to yet another dynamic mover and shaker in Black Arts Education.